Welcome back to our course, Apologetics 6323. This is week 3, and this is the overview lecture that you look at the beginning of the week. And this week's material is called Every Member Evangelism or Every Member Apologetics. You could put it either way. And the premise behind the title is that every Christian should be involved in sharing his or her faith. Now, you and I know that they're not everyone. So maybe we need to put an adjective in there as well. Every serious member ought to be involved in sharing their faith. And of course, in our day and time, I would say increasingly so in our day and time, you have to know something about apologetics in order to be able to share your faith effectively. Now, if it's with a next door neighbor that you've known for a long time, that may not necessarily be the case. But with most people that we would encounter along the way today, these people are folks who have become familiar either through television or through reading popular books or through skimming the internet, Facebook and Twitter, that there are what are considered to be problems with Christianity. Now, our goal in this course is not to turn you into a professional apologist immediately. Some of you may go that route. Most of us are going to use apologetics in the course of our pastoral ministry, our women's ministry, our youth ministry, our music ministry, whatever it might be. But we need to be people who are presenting the gospel to others on a day-to-day basis, and especially pastors. And by day-to-day, I don't mean every day, but what I mean is that that's part of who we are as a serious Christian. When we present the gospel, we need to recognize that the gospel itself is simple. And part of what we're trying to do here in this course is even to simplify that more. So how do you take something that you're making more complicated and make it more simple? Well, that's a neat trick. Maybe in the evaluations at the end of the term, you can decide whether or not I've done that. But that really is the goal, to boil some things down so that we see, here are key priorities. And these are things that really strike at people where they are. It goes back to Guinness's book and talking about the heart of apologetics is the apologetics of the heart. I think that's a great way of stating it. Now, so I want us to present a simple gospel. And so if it was really a simple gospel and I were trying to send that message, maybe I should have a fog machine in the background here and some light Christian rock playing so that we could all identify with the simplicity and the relevance of Christianity. Well, I have something in the background. It's called Sleeping Dogs, and that's about all you're going to get here. This week we're going to look at a major portion of this book by C.S. Lewis called Mere Christianity. Now, you may not have this particular cover or this particular edition of it. It's okay, as long as you have the book and you have the full book and not just an abridgment of it. That's all that matters. It's one of the most helpful books written on apologetics. It's been of help to many, many people. I have a personal connection with this book. When I met the woman who is my wife, who I think you can see in this picture right over my shoulder, she and I sit together. Her name is Tina. When I first met her, she was not a believer. And I'd been warned about missionary dating and all of that, but it became plain from the very first moment that we met that she was an inquirer. She was looking seriously at the faith. And one of the things that impressed me most was that before we ever met, she read this book by Lewis and said, now that I've got somebody who can help me understand some of the things in that book that I didn't quite get, let me pin you down. And she pinned me down for 35 years. But this is a helpful work. There's some extra assignments this week, little ones we've been plugging in this semester as well, and they basically have to do with who was Lewis, why did he write this book, short, little, a few paragraph answers that you can email to me, and I'll get right back with you on those. And I've talked about those extra assignments already in a previous lecture, so we won't go into detail here. We end the week with the next 2 chapters of Chesterton. Between them, Lewis and Chesterton kind of represent the dynamic duo of mid-20th century British apologetics. And so it's kind of nice to read them together. and they, I think, understand the simple kind of questions that people ask, even though sometimes the answers become a little more complicated than that. So look forward to spending the next week with you on Lewis and Chesterton, and just go ahead and challenge you to get right with it.